Yeah.
These are all the amazing herbs, medicines, and local native Anishinaabe spices for healing, nutrition, and overall health and wellness. We're just about to head to Whitefish Island to do a harvesting workshop, a fall harvesting workshop. So we are very excited. So many herbs and so many plant libraries to learn from. Say wild. Awesome. All right, here we go. Marching into the Whitefish Forest at the heart of the Great Lakes, where all the greatest fishing and harvesting is going to be. We got quite a large medicinal group. Everyone's going to be replacing their medicine cabinets with tea cabinets after we're done. This is going to be a beautiful medicine walk at the heart of the Great Lakes. Let's see what these plants have to teach us. And here, on the other side of the bridge, we found the real Canadian geese. How ironic. I think I see some medicine already. And that apple tree over there. Your favorite herbal medicine of choice, Josh? Cannabis. You also like garlic, I hear, as well.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you like about garlic?
Oh, it's like one of the best foods for you. It's the only one of the few foods that doesn't take the nutrients from around its environment. It's like doesn't absorb any toxicity like most things.
It's self-sustaining, eh?
Yeah, it's like pure.
Without harming the other plants around it.
Well, not even that. Just how all foods take in the chemical. Like say here, we have the steel plant. There's stuff like cadmium, I think, that's in the smoke that goes in on the land and absorbs in the food and that. But like something like garlic does not absorb any of that.
Right.
It transcends all of its surroundings.
Wow. Yeah. So it embodies itself more than anything else.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Pure energy. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's an interesting fun fact. Thank you for that, Joe.
Yeah, no problem. And
seems we have more members wanting to know about the medicine walk.
I want to know about this medicine.
What do you want to know about medicine?
I want to know what this medicine, what it does.
Oh, what's that? Let's see. Oh, that's pretty cool. You should go ask him. You might know.
I have to.
Milkweed. Might be in here.
What is? Oh, that's milkweed. Right.
Yeah.
Well, what is milkweed good for?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's a skin.
Oh, for the skin. Eh? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, milk.
It has really silky.
It burns off the viruses. So if you have warts or molluscum or something, milkweed, you can rip it in half and rub it on the skin and it'll kill the virus.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So you just rip that right in half and you put it on where the wound is, and
The thing that comes off of it, you can cook that and make it into soup.
oh wow. Okay, so you can make soup, and it also helps with warts, and it's a skin viruses and for the skin. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps with your warts or eczema and stuff like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, with burns too.
Yeah, burns.
Oh,
Infections.
miigwech for those tokens of wisdom.
That's really nice. Everybody's probably like, how come this guy's not even talking? Yeah, you guys probably ain't gonna hear me.
yeah, Joe, you gotta
I don't know where 90 people came from.
Yeah.
The forest.
Where were you guys when we were kicking feet? It's actually 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17. Then another 9. No, we probably have. Yeah, so I have a bunch of cool stuff I want to show you guys. What I want, the reason why, hopefully I could do it with all 9,000 of you, is one of my favorite things to do when we're outside is to give you what you need to be able to understand what's happening out here. And, yeah, we'll talk about some medicine and things like that, but I want you to get, what I want you guys to understand is how to understand plants, how to look at them and learn to be able to tap into the stories that they're telling you. Because every single plant that we walk past, except I don't know nothing about all the invasive species, but all of the plants that we walk past on the way here are all telling you a story. They all have this really cool story that they're telling you. All you gotta do is just listen to it, watch it, learn from it, and so I would just want to give you guys a couple tools to be able to tap into those stories. And that's probably like the coolest thing I could do in an afternoon with this many people and without water. But yeah, there's a bunch of really cool stuff going on. So I always like just going to a trail, going into the bush, and just sort of walking. Like some of you guys are chatting, but most of you guys are just sort of looking around, checking everything out. Oh, look at this! Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! And so it's fun to be quiet for the first little bit. I'm talking all week, but we'll keep going. But yeah, I'll stop at a few things. A few different plants have a really cool story that they're telling that makes perfect sense. So I want to give you guys the ability or the opportunity to be able to understand them. Okay?
You go ahead.
Skålen.
Skålen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't have any food.
That happened one time I was in Hamilton, and I was talking away, and like everybody says I talk like this, and so I was talking, and then they thought the birds started landing on me, and I was getting all scared. I hit myself. I knocked my glasses off because it landed on my hand, and I went like this in front of everybody. Yeah, so you guys.
Oh, you're afraid of birds?
You got. It's just I'm not afraid. I'll stand up for myself. Yeah, I know, but they're just startling. Yeah, like a snake. Yeah. So you guys see the red oyster dogwood everywhere, eh? The red oyster dogwood. Does anybody remember what it was called? Yeah, we call it Scobim Lagons. Scobim Lagons. Can everybody say Scobim Lagons?
Scobim Lagons.
Yeah.
And what is it used for?
So it's really flexible. It's a really fun little thing. When it gets cold, when it gets one of what makes red oyster dogwood special, what makes it different than all of the other trees, is because it's very flexible, right? That's why we use it for like baskets and chairs and dream catchers and all of this stuff, right? Because it's very flexible. You can't make a dream catcher with elm. It's because it's not flexible. So this is what we'll use, so it's flexible. And so
He's stealing the show.
yeah, let's keep my hands in my pocket. Yeah, so red oyster dogwood is really flexible. So when you want to understand what this plant is, how it can be helpful, is you can understand utility uses immediately: the baskets, the chairs, the dream catchers, all this stuff. But when you think about medicine, the way that we think about it is that red ice or dogwood is very flexible. So you look to red ice or dogwood, like even in the middle of winter, I always tell everybody there's a chemical inside of that bark, inside of the plant that enables it so it doesn't freeze until it's exposed to beyond minus 80 degrees. So even in the middle of winter, if you take your knife out here and you scrape the bark, a bunch of water will come out, a bunch of fluid is still inside. And it could be like minus 30, it can be like minus 60, it's still gonna have water inside, it's not gonna freeze. So that's like what makes this tree special. That's what makes it different than everybody else. It's really flexible. Even in the middle of winter, it's still flexible. So let's look at this feature. Let's look at this uniqueness. Let's look at what makes this tree special and try to figure out how it can be used medicinally. What kind of problems you think you're going to want to use it for? Yeah, like arthritis. When you start to get really stiff and sore and you start not being able to move, willow, red ice or dogwood is what you need to be able to be flexible again. All right, does that make sense? Good.
Joe, so would you just cut this at the stem? At the bottom?
Yeah, you just cut it, scrape the bark off, make some tea, or you could cook it in oil, and then all the medicine from the bark is going to go into the oil, and then you could just put it on.
Okay.
What kind of oil would you cook it with?
Coconut oil. Coconut oil is the best. Coconut oil, bear grease, they're good. Yeah, tea is good though.
I've never drank it. We used to always apply and wash it.
Or you can bathe in it. You could just like, if you're real sore, just like throw it all in your bathtub and just soak in it. It feels really good. Red ice or dogwood is that we would use to bathe with because there was no soap, right? My grandma says that when she was growing up, her mom used to make soap, her own soap for laundry with ashes, lye. And but they would bathe in bark baths. They'd have bark baths with the tea, just a little basin bath, and then that was it. My grandma never had any skin problems. How many of you guys got skin problems? Oh, it's crazy. So red ice or dogwood really helps with that. It's good stuff.
The other name is red willow, right?
Yeah, people call it red willow.
In this
Technically,
area.
it's not a willow though, it's a dogwood. It has fruit. It's totally different, but yeah, we'll all call it red willow. Yeah.
What about the cattails too? Super small.
Cattails? Oh, you guys want to hear something gross? So cattails, we talked earlier today about scouring rush and how scouring rush rejects any contaminants that are around it. It only takes what it needs, and so it's really resistant to a lot of contamination. So you could pick it in within city limits, and it's not going to be grabbing a bunch of harmful junk like PCBs and all this whatever. It's going to be good. It rejects all of the garbage. Cattails is the opposite. Cattails will absorb everything, all the garbage. They'll grab it all, and so you know Fleming College did. Fleming College got I could be wrong, but from what they explained to me is that in the Fleming College, it's like a big square at the Frost campus in Lindsay. It's like a big square, and in the middle of the school, there's a bunch of cattails they planted, and they run all of the toilets that are on this side of the school. They flush it, and it goes through the cattails, and the cattails grab everything. And there's a water fountain on the other side. On the other side of the school is a water fountain. You can fill your water bottle up and then drink it. And it's good. Cattails will just grab everything. And it's like the gray water, the black water, all of it goes through. And so cattails will grab everything. They're really good filters. Grab all that garbage. And the other end, there was clean water. They have a bunch of other plants inside. And I think, there's some sanitation protocol that they follow, but the cattails is very effective to clean the water.
Wow.
But
Is there an odor?
no, it smells. Well, I mean, you walk around there, you can't smell nothing. No, it's just like Yeah, it's fun. I gotta learn more about it, but it's gross. Well, I drank it though.
So you can make a water filter basically out of that.
Yeah, it helps to filter the water. Yeah. You know, so earlier this week we had tea from leaves from a plant called Wicca. How many of us had that? Yeah, we had some of it at Sioux College as well. I think.
Same thing you chew it?
Yeah. Yeah, we had some at Sioux College. I made tea with the leaves of Wicca. And it was really cool. So one of the things that's really fun when you're just walking through the forest, it's fun to know all of the history that these plants are responsible for. So Wicca, it grows in this sort of it grows with cattails. If I look hard enough, maybe it'll be there. But it grows in the cattails, and Wicca, that one plant, is responsible for all of the livestock on this continent. So what would happen when settler would bring livestock, they would get here and they won't drink the water, and so they wouldn't drink anything, and then they would die. So there was nothing, chickens, cows, nothing would survive here. They would all die because they weren't drinking anything. And so they asked us. They asked, how can I make my animals drink the water? And we were like, oh, you take Wicca, plant Wicca around, and it'll turn the water sweet. So those animals will drink. And that's what they did. It changed the taste of the water, and so the livestock drank it. And so because of that plant and the indigenous knowledge around how to use that plant, it's the only reason why the livestock was able to survive here. They were all dying, so we knew how to clean up the water with cattails and how to make it sweet so that animals would drink it. And you could plant other plants around the water to change the flavor. Like say this water was safe. We know it's not. But say the water was safe to drink. When my uncles were growing up, my uncle remember going to Lake Huron and just grabbing a bunch and drinking it. Going to any river and just drinking it. Of course you can't do that now, we'll be all messed up. But this is what he used to do. And then his dad had to tell him, you can't do that anymore. All the water's like all messed up. And so imagine like back then, right? So we're back in time a little bit, and we could just go to this water and have a drink, and it's gonna be clean. That's awesome, but it's not gonna taste the best though. It's gonna have like a little fishy taste, right? It's gonna be safe, but it's not gonna be the best tasting. So what we would do, because we know this, the water's not going to taste so good, so we'll plant certain plants around the water to change the taste. Like we were able to smell all week long so far, all those jars that are on the table, all of those different smells, those will influence the water that's nearby. So you have licoricey taste, you have the juniper berries to offer that velvety, really nice junipery taste, that are all going to be further cleaning the water but adding a taste to it. There's a bunch of cool stuff. But yeah, cattails we call it apakwe. Can everybody say apakwe?
Apakwe.
Apakwe. That's like a roof. That's what we use to make like a duck blind or roof thatching, is we use the cattails. The leaves, yeah. So we call it apakwe. Yeah.
This is the fruit of
The berries on red oyster dogwood, the white berries that the red oyster dogwood makes, you could use this for, if you have poison ivy real bad, you could crush up the berries and put it on like a compress and wrap this crushed berries on. It's really, really, really good for poison ivy. Like, you wake up the next day, you put it on before you go to bed, you wake up the next day and it'll be good. It'll be all gone. Unless you scratch the heck out of everything, and then you'll have like scabs and stuff. But yeah, it's really, really, really good stuff. But the berries aren't out till like midsummer, so if you get poison ivy early on, just get some prednisone, I guess. Probably.
Prednisone.
Yeah.
Correct your mind.
Called currants. You know currants? Like the berries? Currant berries? I don't have any. It makes me so nervous. I think I'm traumatized from slamming myself. Yeah, so currants are native. We have like 4 or 5 different types of currants, and then there's a bunch of gooseberries too. Currants, we call them shijimnan. Can everybody say shijimnan?
Shijimnan.
This was our name for them. And apples came. Apples are not native. There's no apples that are from here. Even in Wicomico, there's places where you go to. I took a couple of my friends took apples out to bait deer, and the deer just stepped all over them because they didn't know what apples were. And so there's even animals who like never even seen apples before. They're not from here, and so they don't care for them. But yeah, so there's no apple tree that's native to here. So when they came over, they sort of adopted a name, and so we called them shimnan. The same thing we call currants, but apples just stole their name. You ask people, how do you say currants? I don't know, I never heard anybody say that before. Well, they know shimnan for apple. And so it's just funny to think about some of the invasive species just hijack the names from other plants, and then we forget what to call the native species. So one of my favorite things is names, to be able to recover and recapture all of the names of all of the different plants. But yeah, currants are good little berry. Right there. Hey, there's high-bush cranberries over there.
Yeah, come on up. There you go. Oh yeah.
Can anybody identify
The chestnut? No.
balsam? What is the name of the thing? Baba Gilead is the same country from the Mediterranean. Wow. That's a good thing. I swear. We'll learn all about that later. But these buds are the best smelling thing on the planet.
Stickiest thing too.
Sticky. There was a guy in Sault Ste. Marie. Oh no, wait, sorry, he was from Plymouth. I get the Sioux and Lindsay, Ontario confused. Isn't that weird? I don't know why. Have you guys ever been to Lindsay? Yeah? Totally confused. There was a guy at Lindsay and the Fleming campus over there. He had his like fancy sports car. He parked it underneath one of these trees, and So it's a bud. The bud is full of sticky resin on the inside, and as the bud blossoms, the sticky casings fall off. And I guess there was like no wind or no nothing, and his car was parked there was no wind for so long, and then all of a sudden it's one windy day. And so what happens with balsam fir is, balsam poplar, is that it was holding on to all of those casings, and the wind just knocked it all off. And so there was a lot of those casings that fell onto his car, and it was all sticky. It was like a $12,000 paint job to be able to fix his car. But you just needed oil though to take it off. It's easy to take off. But yeah, he was mad. But that sticky, here's what I want you guys to understand. That bud, the bud right now is full of sticky resin, and probably like end of February, early March, maybe even towards the end of March, that bud is going to swell, and it's going to change from a sticky resin into an oleo resin, a mixture of oil and resin. And so what that does, when it swells up full of that oleo resin, the leaves inside, there's like 5 leaves inside that are growing, that are trying to pop out to be the leaves, right? Those leaves are coating themselves in that resin when they're small, and when the leaves grow up, there's no bugs on them. That resin protects them. So you guys had a lot of tent caterpillars, eh? It was so gross, so gross. And but if you looked around, the only trees that had their leaves was balsam fir. We went to Mississauga's in Blind River, and we were walking around, and like everything was devoured except balsam poplar was everywhere. It was the only tree that they would come and nibble on it a little bit, but that was it. They didn't want to have to deal with it whatsoever. And so this is what that tree uses to protect itself from any bugs, any viruses and bacteria, fungus, any little bug. It's protected. So what we do is we could go to this tree when the buds swell up at the end of February and throughout March, and we could take them. And it's really cool. You just take the buds, you melt them in some hot oil, and the buds will blossom inside. And all of that oleo resin inside is going to go inside of mixed with the oil. And you'll make a nice salve, right? And you could use that salve for when you have infections, when you have a cut that's full of bugs, viruses, bacteria, and fungus. And so you take this tree, you understand this tree has a special ability to be able to protect itself from infection. So you take that tree's ability and you apply it to yourself. Does that make sense?
Is that Minigan?
Yeah, and that would be like Minigan. Yeah, a really famous salve. Used to be in everybody's house. Actually, my car still is sticky from March, but it's good sticky though. Like it smells awesome. Oh yeah, and so when I break the tip off like this on accident, I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You come back here like 2 years, there'll be like 6 tips. I used to always feel bad, but yeah, when you go back and check it out, you see it didn't really hurt it at all. Sometimes even taking the tips off helps it. Yeah, so it'll have like 6 tips. So yeah, I'm not just trying to kill Whitefish Island. But yeah, you should smell it. Grab those buds and scrub on it.
So is it okay to like chew on some? Is it good to take it internally as a tea or chew on it? Or?
It's a big mess. But you can, yeah.
I heard with beef salt or anything like that. You can like chew on it all. I know it's good too.
There could be beef.
That's what someone told me.
That'd be awesome.
Are we gonna do some? Yeah.
Oyster dogwood? Is that osier?
O-I-E-R, something like that.
Oh, this one's the Auger dogwood, right?
Yeah.
And the berries. And this one you harvest the buds. Tiny buds.
My husband's going hunting and there's poison. Oh, the mushrooms.
Squirrels will take the mushrooms and they put them in the tree to dry them. So they move them all day and they dry them for food.
Look at them all.
They have little caches, little humidified controlled caches that they stuff it into for the winter.
I knew about the nuts. I didn't know about.
So does that mean we can eat those kind of mushrooms if you ever find that in the tree? Like that's an edible mushroom?
I don't know. I don't trust the squirrel.
They're nuts. They're nuts sometimes.
Trust the squirrel. Exactly. Those are squirrels. I've seen them do that. Wild. All over the place.
Oh, that's a cache.
And there's a few of them here too. On these sticks here too. There's one there.
I was
There's
wondering
one
why they were.
there.
I thought a human did it. They stashed it. That's so cute.
And there's one there.
That's really cute.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're looking at the squirrel.
They're showing us how to dry mushrooms. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe those squirrels aren't that nuts after all.
Yeah, there are 90 people. That come out of their shell and then, you know, but they leave their shell like stuck on the bottom of leaves and stuff, and on the sides of trees you'll just see the really nasty looking cicada shell that's like all a little gnarly looking. When I was in Costa Rica, it's like tons of cicadas over there. One of the tour guides, he grabbed one of the skeletons, and then he went up to one of the girls and he was like, here. And then she opened up her hand and he dropped it in. She lost her mind. But I was always like, I just totally adopted that. And I started doing it to everybody. Every time I see a cicada, I was like, hey, it's so funny. There's no cicadas anymore. But there is you guys see this black knot fungus? Looks like a bunch of poo-poo. Yeah. It's called black knot fungus. And so it only grows on stone fruit trees. Stone fruit trees like cherries and plums and ordering food. And our hearts are not used to gardening and trapping and running and all of this stuff, right? So our hearts suck. Our hearts, they don't pump all the way. It doesn't squeeze all the way. I forgot the term for this, but it doesn't squeeze all the way. So they suck. They only need to pump like this much, like really
like hardened arteries.
Yeah, just well, not really hardened arteries, but it's just your heart that just doesn't have to pump all the way. So it just will pump, yeah, superficially. So when you have this medicine, it stimulates your heart into becoming effective. Pumping all the way. Don't just pump like this. This gives your heart what it needs to be able to squeeze all the way. And so what that helps with is now you think your heart just sort of sucks all the time, right? And then you have this medicine and your heart's squeezing all the way. You get more blood flow to your brain, to your extremities, your feet and your hands. So your hands will feel warm, your feet will feel warm. You'll be able to think way better because your brain is getting more oxygen because the blood is getting as far as it has to go. You have enough blood vessels to wrap around the world 8 times. 2 of those is in your brain. And so when you give your body everything that it needs to be able to pump the blood to the furthest parts, everything will feel better. So yeah, you have nice warm hands, warm feet. So it really helps with circulation. But yeah, like arrhythmias and a bunch of other stuff that can happen with your heart. Just see, stone fruit trees, cherry trees are the best to use for that. We use the bark, we make tea with the bark. Cherries are really good for coughing too. You ever hear this? Cherry bark shuts off the cough center of your brain. So if you're coughing, the cherries just shut that right off, so you can't even cough. You know what else works really good for coughing? If you ever just like, when your kid, like coughing is good. Your kids should always cough, right? Coughing, you need to get the stuff out. If you don't cough, you get pneumonia. But you know, like your kid has been sick for 2 weeks. The cough is gone. All the stuff is out of his lungs. It's just that annoying little dry tickle, and they'll just cough and cough and cough and not sleep and miserable. And then you have to go on this big long trip, because that always happens. And that happened to us once. And our daughter is trying to sleep in her car, so she's just coughing away. And what works really good is if you take mint from anything like Vicks or toothpaste, or you could get mint oil, and you get all of this stuff, and you put it on the bottom of their feet. I just checked it out. I was like Googling, and it's like, put it on the toothpaste on the bottom of their feet. I was like, what if this works though? So I stopped in at the grocery store, and we got like some kind of Vicks. We didn't use toothpaste, but we put it on the bottom of her feet. Immediately stopped. It was like magic. She slept. We drove all the way. It was awesome. So yeah, put mint on their feet. But anyway, cherries. Really good for your heart. Also for coughing. But cherry trees, they're amazing medicine. But you can't just pick any cherry. You can't just grab any old cherry tree. You have to be picking the cherry trees that have this black knot fungus on it.
That's not the fungus. You don't use the fungus.
No, you don't use the fungus, but you use the bark off of the trees that have the fungus.
So could you use this bark?
Yeah, because it indicates what?
That it has that medicine flowing through it.
I'm presuming that the tree produces something to fight that off, which increases its focus.
Oh.
See? Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so the tree, that's a fungus that's attacking the tree's immune system is activated, and it has to fight off that fungus. And it fights off that fungus with whatever it's got. What it fights the fungus off with is what we call medicine, right? All of the oils, all of the chemistry going on, it's a protective mechanism, and so it's a stress to the tree. How many of you guys like stress?
If you want growth.
Yeah. How many of you guys like stress?
I like you.
I like building my muscles.
So, you guys want to hear something awful?
Tell us.
Sure.
Stress is good. There's no such thing as a bad stress. Stress is good. It's a gift, right? And so this tree exemplifies that really well. So this fungus is stressing out the tree. The tree responds to that stress by fighting off the fungus. So this tree has to overcome that stress, and as the tree is overcoming that stress, it's getting stronger. Just like if you're lifting a dumbbell, you're curling a dumbbell, you're stressing out your bicep, and your bicep will respond to that stress by getting bigger and by getting stronger. So the more dumbbells you lift, the heavier the dumbbells are, the stronger that muscle is going to get. The more runs you go on, you're stressing out your cardiovascular system. The more runs you go on, the faster you try to run, the faster and farther you're going to be able to go, the more stress you apply to that system. So whenever you look for medicine or whenever you look for plants, you always find the plants that have overcome the most amounts of stress. Those are the strongest plants. So you come and you look at this, these trees are just wrecked by this black knot fungus. They have to fight this thing off all day, all night. And because of them actively fighting off this fungus, working out, stressing out, overcoming that stress, they're stronger. And just the presence of a few little nubs of black knot fungus indicates that the bark can have almost 40 to 60 times more oil in the bark, more medicine in the bark. So you could have a pretty little cherry tree right here, no black knot fungus, never had to deal with anything its whole life, and it's going to be good medicine. But you have one over here fighting this stuff off that can have almost 60 times more medicine inside of it, more oil inside of it, 60 times stronger. So like one cup of this is like 60 cups of this, as far as medicine and therapy it goes. Okay, so when it comes to plants and arguably humans, stress is good. There's no such thing as bad stress. The only thing we'll call bad stress is stress that we're not managing, stress that we're not dealing with. So you're going on runs and exercising and lifting dumbbells without eating, or without replenishing, giving your body the nutrients it needs. You're not managing that stress properly, you're going to get sick, right? Yeah, what we have to do is manage our stress and sort of reframe this idea of stress as being something that's awful and bad to being something that's a gift. I have this opportunity to become stronger. And so, you know, you always look at the strongest people you ever met in your life. I've been through it all. We'll always look at elders. That's why we like have this reverence for the older you are, the older the person is, because they've been through it all. This is a funny idea to think about.
So when you're harvesting anything, how do you clean it before using it? Or do you?
Well, after a week of drinking like probably 40 gallons of tea, I don't really clean it.
You just take it off.
I'll give it like a little swish in water, get some dirt off. But the barks, I never clean them. It's all good. It's all clean out here.
So you can use this for medicine, but the best is cherry trees. You'd recommend?
Yeah, these are little cherries. Where's my tree guy? What kind of cherry tree is that?
The bud.
Look at the bud. This guy.
Does that apply to other forms of diversity with trees? Like I've got a giant cherry in my backyard that's...
Yeah, it's a choke cherry.
Choke cherry.
Choke cherry is yeah, lots of choke cherry, lots of cherry trees. Oakland, Sassuan, Wigosminan, Kumnagawas.
We found him here last year.
Ah! Here?
Well, in the zoo.
It's a cicada. You know cicadas pee?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah? Yes!
My daughter dragged me out. She was like, tell me what it is. And move it out like this insect.
Yeah.
It's not like urine.
Yeah. But it still goes through the body of a cicada. I was in Costa Rica and we were all like just sweaty. It was so humid. We were walking and like we'd feel these little droplets and it was like the tiniest little mist. And we were all like, oh, it feels nice, huh? And we were asking like, there's all this mist coming off the trees. And then that guy, the tour guide was like, oh, cicada pee. And we were like, ah. And then we got to the place and I had a real wicked yawn, just and then a bunch of things. Like, yeah. So I've ingested fluids that pass through the body of a cicada.
See, that stress just made him stronger. Here's a closer look at these choke cherry trees producing their medicine. Fighting off these big black things. That's how we know they got medicine.
What do you think you're gonna be home, man? I think I'm gonna...
When you put them in your house, you know, like all the dust, like just like all the stuff. Oh, those are bugs. Oh no, you know, in your house, all this dust floating around, it just sort of goes like this. if you take a paper wasp nest and you put it in the corner, all of the dust in your house goes like this towards that thing, and it collects all of the garbage.
Wow.
So we got a whole bunch. I got a bunch with my daughter, and
Wasp mess. Clear out the dust in the house.
So, you know, sometimes, yeah, I wanted to be real bad. We picked a bunch, and so when my garage door, if you're on the inside of my garage and the garage door closes, there's like a big ledge up there. And me and my daughter decided we had like 5 wasp nests that we put there. It was big, massive wasp nests. And everybody wants to come over to my garage and see the medicine that's cooking. So what I wanted to do, no one would let me do it though. I wanted to close the garage and be like, hey, what's that? And then hit it. And then watch everybody freak out. And nobody would let me do it though, because we were making our medicine and they were like, what if they knock it over? It would have been so funny though. But yeah, we collect them all the time, put them up in our house or in each room, and it just collects all the junk, all the garbage. And so every year you put a new couple wasp nests in your house. It helps keep everything clean, feel better. Bursley sarsaparilla, there's the racemosa, the big spikenard, and then there was the wild sarsaparilla, the common one everywhere, nauticalis. Sarsaparilla, does anybody know the name of it in the language? No? We would call it wobblesjebik. Wobblesjebik. Everybody say wobblesjebik?
Wobblesjebik.
What does that mean? Rabbit is wobbles, yeah. Jebik or jeepkun is a root. So a lot of people call it rabbit root. Rabbits have nothing to do with the plant. They don't go anywhere near it. They don't eat it. They don't interact with it whatsoever. Sarsaparilla, it's in the same family as ginseng. Right? Ginseng, we know ginseng is called an adaptogenic herb. It helps your body adapt to stress. So if you're exercising and you're stressing out your body is going to adapt to that stress faster. So you'll get bigger faster, you'll be able to run farther faster, you'll be adapting to stress faster. So ginseng is really important if, for like exercise and all this stuff. It's really famous, really expensive. More expensive than gold. But anyway, the sarsaparilla is in the same family. It has the same function. It helps your body adapt to stress. So when you're using it and you're exercising, you're going to have like massive results. But also, it helps your body adapt to a really specific type of stress. And that's the stress of climatizing to cold temperature. So when you go out now, like, I'm wearing this jacket, and I could wear this in -15, and I was last year, and I was fine. But in the beginning of the year, I'd wear this when it was like 2 degrees. I had to have this on because it's too cold. Nothing else would help. But as I climatized, and I would get you get used to the cold temperature, and so this helps you climatize faster. So if it starts to get cold, you're adapting to it really quickly. So you don't have to go outside in your big parka in fall. You could just wear like your normal, jacket, but you don't have to have the massive parka on. So it gives your body what it needs to help to adapt to stress faster.
Does sarsaparilla grow here?
Yeah, I was hoping I was going to see it. It grows everywhere. It's really, really, really common. And the roots are so satisfying to pick. They're these big, long, they could be like 40 feet long. And they're like this much under the soil. And you just pull it up like a big, long rope. There's no anchor roots or anything to make it complicated. It's just a big, long thing. This is really great. But anyway, when you're adapting to stress faster, you have lots of energy left over. So everyone will always say, ginseng gives you energy, but it doesn't. It helps your body adapt to stress. So your body is ready for this much, work, but you're only doing this much, right? So you have all of this leftover energy to spend on other things. Okay? So back to its name in the language, wobblesjebik, rabbit root. This is why we call it rabbit root, because when you're drinking this medicine all the time and your body is adapting to stress faster, you have a lot more energy to spend on other things. Like, so yeah, we call it rabbit root. Well, what makes rabbits famous? Well,
They're jumping.
Jumping, yeah, hopping. We can, that's what I have to say for like kindergarten. Yeah, they're hopping. But yeah, their ability to reproduce. You know, like rabbits. And so this is why we call it Wolfschiebig. Yeah, so.
Does spikenard pull out the same way?
Oh, spikenard is ridiculous. It's like the root is like this, and it'll send shoots out, yeah, like 15, 20 feet in like all over the place. But yeah, we got one that was like this deep, and it had like 30 roots going out so far in every direction. I had a massive group, probably like half the size of you guys, and we were all like on this one root pulling it out. And it was the most glorious thing to look at. It was this massive, massive thing. It was kind of like a little scary. But yeah, the spikenard is beautiful too. It smells so good. When it dries, it smells like mangoes. But yeah, so that's what the tea was good for. I wish I could have seen it when we were out here. But yeah.
Sarsaparilla.
3 different species in the tea. What were they again?
Bristly sarsaparilla. And then the wild sarsaparilla, the nauticalis, Aurelia nauticalis, and then spikenard. Spikenard is Aurelia racemosa. And they're all the same. They're all used for the same thing, except I just use them all together because it sounds cooler, I guess. Yeah.
Where do you find the bristly?
On the shield. You get it on the shield, and it'll be like in the open parts of the shield, the bare open rock. It'll have its own little crevice, and that's where it likes to be. It's easy to pick on the shield. It smells so good too. Yeah, yeah. So Wolfschiebig, the nightshade. This is responsible for creating a really important vasodilator that's used in surgeries, and it's also like it'll dilate your pupils too. They get a chemical from here called atropine. Atropine just opens everything it touches. So they use it in surgery to open blood vessels, and your eyes to open your pupils. And they got the idea from this plant. This plant was there's no more berries on it now, but it's the origin of all the tomatoes came from nightshades. So this tomatoes came from Central America. A bunch of different tribes in Central America would for generations and generations and generations engineer this plant, the nightshade, until the fruit was bigger, and they would just eliminate certain traits until like thousands of years later they had tomatoes and multiple different varieties of tomatoes. Yeah, they all came from Central America. How many of you guys thought tomatoes came from Italy? Yeah, they all came from Central America, and they came from like traditionally manipulating this plant. This was deadly nightshade.
Deadly nightshade.
Yeah.
You don't want to eat.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it's so funny. Like one of the most dangerous plants. And we used it to create tomatoes. Oh my God!
Oh yeah, that little patch right there. Birds love there, like pigeons,
people put the seeds there.
black cat.
Actually, I do see some tomato seeds up there, like little tomatoes, little
Oh
berries
yeah, a
right there.
couple of. Yeah, those are the deadly nightshade.
And the flower looks purple
Yeah,
with a little yellow.
the flower looks just like tomato flowers. Yeah.
It does look, yeah, a little tomato, yeah.
Yeah, that's where it all came
Tomatoes.
from. But yeah, like I don't know how many thousands of years we were messing with that to be able to create tomatoes and eggplants and stuff. But yeah, that's where it all came from. Try to get a pigeon on your head.
I read your, a couple years ago, taking photos that I had red wing blackbirds.
Really? They're aggressive. Yeah.
Sweet.
I want to ask about these as well.
Oh, we got a bunch of little fun packs there, eh?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Anything you want to share with the camera?
Oh, this is Foamy's Fomentarius.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And what's that for?
Well, it has antimicrobial properties, but it was used to, like, they hollowed it out and then carried fire from one place to another without burning themselves.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Very useful. They found like he was buried in the ice.
Oh wow!
And
They found an Iceman with one of those.
Yeah, like a necklace with these on there and birch polypores.
Wow.
And he used it for medicine and for carrying fire.
Oh, that's amazing! Wow. So he was like the fire keeper, literally, for his tribe. Like he'd carry it. Wow. Amazing. Fire carrier.
Because when Joe Piley blossoms and the flowers come out in summer is when there's no other flowers out. And so bees, they'll prioritize where they put their nest based on where the closest food source is in the worst time of the year. So they always put their nest near this plant. Because you'll see them in the summer too. They'll just be like just wrecked. They're sitting on the plant. They don't even go home. They just sit there and drink the nectar just to stay alive until the fall, like asters and goldenrods, until they come out. So this comes out when, like, during the dry season, where it's like nothing else is there. This one will blossom, so that's where they put all their houses, all their nests. And so if you're like my cousin, the reason why I'm saying this is because one of my friends, he had a garden, and the tomatoes would flower, no fruit, flower, no fruit, flower, no fruit, because there was no pollination that was happening, and so there wasn't making any fruit. So I told him, put this there, put it in this ditch, and yeah. Bees moved in, and they never had a problem since with his garden. But yeah, this is the Mescosmesek, the Joe Piley. Look at that one. That's fun.
Flowers on that river been this way in the bush.
Those little seeds?
Yep.
You use those like chia seeds. Or just eat them.
Chia pet.
So you can eat these and just peel them?
Yeah, just take seeds and
Then peel.
yeah, all those seeds, you just eat them, like, put them in your smoothie. They're like full of vitamins and minerals and stuff. This is plantain though. Plantain is an invasive species. Well, we call it boshkadagan. Because when you see it, you step over it.
Oh, it does. It even tastes like chia seeds. Yeah.
Because if you step on it, if you step on this invasive species, what happens is you spread the seeds, right? But if you leave the seeds there, you see all those little seeds that were off of one little stalk? Those, the birds, little chickadees, finches especially, but the snow buntings will come in right about now. And they'll just go and eat all those little seeds on the stalk. But if they're spread on the ground, they're not going to bother them, and the plant will grow there. And so we always stepped over it. So that's what we call this plant. Like, don't step on it. Go walk out over top of it. Yeah. And so, yeah, you always see that on Facebook. Learn about it on Facebook.
Chia seeds.
Yeah, so you see, sort of pushed up a bit.
Oh, I see. Very cool.
Yeah, so if you wait a little bit, it makes so much seeds.
Those ones are so much bigger than they normally are.
Yeah, tons. But yeah, you could get a big bag, no problem.
Yeah.
It'd be better than chia seeds. I bet those birds would like it.
Yeah, Lily's trying to find out right
Look what I
now.
did for you. Oh yeah, good. He's like, haha, I got plantain all day.
Hold it up high.
I want millet.
Scared me.
Plantain.
I was about to say
Because I felt it like.
That's what I thought. I was waiting.
Oh, here, what's your name again? Sorry.
Brigitte Mars.
Brigitte Mars.
Yeah,
Okay.
out of Boulder. She has a book called Addiction Free Naturally.
Addiction Free Naturally. Oh wow, I'd love to interview her.
Several books.
That's amazing. I'm gonna look out for that. Thank you.
To keep your blood, to keep the blood going to the farthest parts of your brain. And the mountain ash, all you have to do is smell the bark. You smell the bark, and that's enough stimulation to get your heart pumping all the way again. So then your brain is getting all of the oxygen that it needs because your heart has stronger pumps, and so your headache will go away. So if you're at real bad headaches, this is you take that bark and you just smell it. Just put it all, scrunch it up and put it here. It's really good. It
Mountain
smells
ash.
so good too.
Wow.
Yeah, you get that real wicked pass it down. What's that one called? Mountain ash.
This one with the blackberries that we've seen.
European buckthorn.
Oh,
It's good at
beautiful.
invading.
That's mountain ash right there. Gets the heart pumping and decreases headaches.
What is that?
If I take a picture.
Delphina?
Here, I want this
Oh!
Does it have a good smell?
Oh yeah, supposedly.
Is that the one that he was talking about?
The mountain ash, yeah.
It's the bark, right? Not the leaves.
Here,
Well,
you
if
get
you hold it, I'll just take a picture of it.
Okay, sure.
And that way, wait, it's gonna focus.
Oh, it's right over here.
Oh, the actual tree?
Yeah, it's just right here. Right over here.
There's another one back there.
Oh, right here. Tiny.
Oh, this little thing?
This little tiny?
Oh, yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah, bark for
Yeah, I'm just saying maybe those
Heart
leaves
flow.
haven't changed yet.
Yeah.
and brain flow. Traditionally used to heal headaches.
Yeah, there's every now and then you see the red pond.
Oh, you do see the red berries on
I
that.
can see
Yeah.
some on the other side.
Oh,
with the
okay.
red berries.
Red berries.
Yeah, they can get to be a good size tree.
You guys show how to make them in again? Like,
No, we sell it.
oh, okay.
But we wild harvest the Bomagillion buds and make it, and without bear grease though.
Okay, more coconut oil or something? or
Olive oil.
Olive oil, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And so you said, what was the name of the lodge?
Herbal Lodge.
Herbal Lodge,
Yeah,
okay.
if you, it comes up. It's 7,000 likes. It comes up. You'll find it.
Herbal Lodge, okay. And you guys are where in Michigan?
Nathan's in Petoskey. I'm in Hessel, Glacial Islands area.
All right.
Very pretty area.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I'll sign up for one of the events as soon as next time I go visit or whenever it's.
Yeah.
When's your next foraging?
I don't have anything going on now. Nathan does talks too.
Cool.
But
Yes, so we're going to be putting on 4 Art for Wellness expos at the Mill Market. But then before those expos, and then each one is going to be one in summer, one in fall, winter to coincide with the medicine wheel, right?
Oh, cool.
And but we want to have the foraging workshops a day before the expos start, so we can show what we learned at the expo.
Okay.
And have some of the plants and maybe have Minigan there and stuff like that. So if you guys want to have a table and like sell your Minigan and stuff there, that'd be perfect.
I'll have to tell him. He's that tall guy back there.
Okay, excellent.
And he's Suchong,
Oh yes.
and also Batch
Yes, Doctrine of signatures.
Yeah, where like.
What does that mean?
Well, just what Joe was talking about. When a plant looks like what it's good for, like walnuts are good for the brain, mushrooms are good for the eyes. But yeah, look up Doctrine of
carrots.
signatures.
Yeah, carrots are good for the eye.
Yeah.
Right. If something looks like the liver, it's usually good for the liver.
Well, earlier too, bloodroot is good for the uterine. That's what he showed earlier, and it looked just like that. Or horsetail.
Well, that's probably why coconut is so good for the brain.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a head kind of.
Scouring rush is good for the bones.
Oh,
the way it's knotty. Yeah.
It's amazing how everything is designed to fit together. Everything, every plant has a medicine. Yeah, every creation has a purpose.
And it makes it easier that way if it what it looks like.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. It definitely makes it easier for the harvesters.
Yeah, Doctrine of Signatures.
Doctrine of Signatures, that's fantastic.
I heard about that from herbalist Brigitte Mars out of Boston.
Herbalist Brigitte Mars.
Herbalist Guild. She's
oh,
on
wow.
that. She's the author of several books, Addiction Free Naturally.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. What have you taken away from that book?
I haven't read it yet. I got it not that long ago, but
Addiction Free Naturally. Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. So if anyone's
that book.
Oh, so if anyone's struggling with any kind of addictions and they want to go that natural, healthiest route, that's probably the best way to open that gateway of medicinal knowledge.
Definitely.
Excellent. Wow, thank you for all your information.
You're welcome.
It's going to be really, really, really fun. But we have so much fun doing it because like for tobacco is easy. There's a plant called lobelia. There's a flower called lobelia. It has a chemical inside of it called lobeline, an alkaloid that's the same chemical shape as nicotine. It fits inside of the same receptor as nicotine, but it has a half-life of 2 weeks. So when lobeline fits in the same receptor as nicotine, it stays there for 2 weeks. So the physical craving to nicotine is gone, is removed by the medicine, and you will have no physical craving for 2 weeks. And that was fun to be able to give to people, because you get all these crazy ladies, chain smokers. They have to get up in the middle of the night to have a cigarette, and we can give them medicine to just remove that. And so you got a bunch of crazy old ladies like smoking this medicine in little pipes they would buy. Yeah, it's funny to see a bunch of little old ladies, smoking pipes.
Token up behind the corner.
And then but quitting cold turkey.
Just de-weeding that addiction. Wow.
Yeah, they would quit cold turkey, and for a lot of the follow-up it's hard to do all the follow-up. So we have been reaching way too many communities to try to. It's hard to keep up, but. With all of the follow-up, they still have quit cold turkey.
Wow.
Because they've sourced their own lobelia, their own lobeline, their own medicine.
That is absolutely amazing. And is that something you guys grow in Creator's Garden? Is lobelia flower?
We pick it in Manitoulin. We pick it and we seed like crazy. Lobelia makes so much seeds every year. Cardinal lobelia, Combs lobelia, Lobelia spicata. We're harvesting all of the seeds off of it and spreading it, and so there's tons. So there's more every time we go back. It's like tenfold.
Wow.
And then we're also taking seeds and bringing it to different places. We planted a bunch of medicine all over Peterborough.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
So we're gonna have like in Peterborough our own big patches of medicine that we put there.
That is so awesome. I think every town should have like an Anishinaabe garden center, like community garden, where if you want to treat addiction or smoking or whatever ails you.
Yeah, we're gonna fill it all up in that whole island we were just at.
Yeah.
Fill it all up with lobelia.
Yeah, exactly.
And then so stuff like that. It's really fun. We're trying to find our most impactful method, but our approach. It's our job. We see it as our job to go into a community and to try and get medicine back into the household.
To turn everyone's medicine cabinets into tea cabinets, as you said.
Yeah, for sure. Because we could work with a health center. Health center's got all their policies and protocols and all this politics and everything's in the way. It's so hard to be impactful in a lot of health centers and hospitals and things like that. It would be great, but since we've focused on getting medicine back into the home, back into the family, and that's been really effective. We've been doing that for about 3 years now. And
a lot of healing is just about educating yourself properly, eh?
And relearning, learning.
And tell us a little bit about your success stories in the past, because you have helped others treat their addictions, right? Like I think.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good medicine that we would use for all kinds of addictions. Yeah, alcohol. There's one really good plant for opiate addiction that we got to be able to experience on a small scale, on like a small sort of anecdotal clinical trial that we had in Sudbury, giving medicine away to all these guys in Sudbury, and being able to watch all of their successes. So some of
that's
my
amazing.
Friends and family, cold turkey, off the methadone, off the Suboxone.
Oh, see, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Coming right off the man-made stuff and going into something that God, or the Creator placed there for your healing. Like, it's just so much more natural. The healing happens so much more faster.
Yeah.
And or could you give us some of those names for the medicines that help those people?
Yeah. Well, we're trying to make it more available for everybody, trying to implement this in a large-scale project. One of my favorite. Wow, geez, there's so much. But my favorite, the easiest to come by, one that's like more common, grows all over Ontario, and so the accessibility to it is easy. Is a plant that we call Nadwanak. Nadwanak is lousewort. And I use those leaves, and when you smoke those leaves, they give you the ability to say no.
You get your willpower back.
That's on the individual, and the person's gonna have to say, yeah, okay, I don't. They have to have the ability.
They have
say
to make
no.
the choice.
Yeah, but it gives them the ability to make the choice. So when you're somebody, you get caught up in the wrong crowd or go to the wrong party, and you cannot pursue your academic career or any career. And it's fun to be able to watch that plant help somebody finish school, get the job, get their kids, take care of their kids, and just start that whole process. So it's really satisfying.
Beautiful. And you can find that around here as well, like
it's a very
in Sault Ste. Marie.
Plant.
And beautiful. Excellent. What about stimulants? Like say speed or like crack, cocaine. Is there a certain plant for that?
Yeah, the same thing.
Same thing will work for opiates and stimulants.
Use the same thing for people who use too much marijuana.
Really, eh?
Or who just want to try something else. And it just calms you down. It just gives you the ability to.
Oh, how do you spell it? The plant name?
Nadwanak? I don't know. However it sounds.
Nadwanak?
Nadwanak, yeah.
Nadwanak, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a Latin one for that too, or is it?
Pediculus canadensis, yeah.
Pediculus canadensis. Okay, excellent. I'm gonna do my research and.
Yeah, it's good. You read so much cool stuff. They got a real wicked one in Mexico. Species that grows in Mexico. I forget what its common name is, but it's like way more ridiculous than the one that we have here. Way more dramatic, but ours works good.
Beautiful, excellent. And you always recommend just kind of using like a coconut oil or bear grease to use to get the most out of those plants.
Oh, you have tea.
Or just tea.
Smoke it.
Or you smoke it, right?
Yeah, you
okay.
smoke the lobelia, and you smoke the nadwanak.
Right. Okay. Wow, excellent. That's amazing. I hope this documentary is going to help a lot of people. You know, the reason why we're doing it is just because there's the steel town down, made our town look really bad, and kind of just interviewed all the addicts. So now we're actually interviewing the healers and the medicine men, the Reiki, energy healers, and the doctors as well, to see their response on how to heal, and to see people who have been sober for 6 months or more and how they did it, why they did it, whether it be an exercise they did, a ritual they did, a prayer they do every day, or a plant that they've created a symbiotic relationship with, as you teach us how to do. So yeah, thank you so much for all that you do and all the medicine that you provided today, and all the knowledge and wisdom that will bear fruit for us in the future.
Yeah.
Is there any other closing comments or any other medicinal words you'd love to leave us with?
Drink more tea.
Drink more tea. Absolutely. Partake and party with more tea.
Yeah.